All right, I'd like to welcome everybody here to this event. We're going to get started here in about 1 minute. What I would love for everybody to do is, as you're getting logged on here, over in the chat, I would love to see if you already have a vertical that you are primarily focused on. Doesn't have to be, maybe you have multiple ones that you go after, but if there's a vertical that's kind of your favorite, you've got some merchants in that, just put the name of that vertical over in the chat. I would just love to see, kind of give me some context as we dive into this about what verticals you enjoy. Oh, wow. MLMs, man, you're going high risk there, Mark. B2B, yep, of course. Restaurant, automotive, both of those are good. Crypto. Oh, hey, Josh, look at that. Josh is on here. Great to see you there, sir. Um, Yeah, enterprise is anything big, Todd. That's definitely your thing there. Gun shops, pizza. So that's pizza shops are near and dear to my heart. For those of you that are just jumping on, just jump into the chat and put your favorite vertical, your favorite business type that you like to go after. Um, well, let's see: restaurant and bar, quick serve, peptides, insurance, auto, veterinarians, HVAC, plumbing. Good professional services. Oh, hair salons. I'm really, really getting into that one right now. Mexican restaurants, HOA management. Wow, interesting. That's really niche. I like that. Restaurant and bar, franchisors, contractors that make house calls and salons. Awesome. Well, hey, for those of you that are just joining us, we're all over here in the chat. We're just putting in our favorite vertical. What's your favorite vertical that you enjoy going after? Um, okay, let's see. Barber shops. That's a good one. Okay. Liquor store, fast food, B2B high ticket. Awesome. Well, it's great to see. I just kind of was curious what everybody was working on vertical wise. So I'm really excited about this event. Of course, this is the second session here. Let me get my thing rolling here. Good. So this is second session of this event, and I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm assuming none of you were on the first one. That's why you're on this one. But I had a lot of feedback from the first one, people asking me to answer a lot more questions about the program that I talk about at the very end. As usual, last time I got a little too long-winded, and so I shared all kinds of information. And at the very end, I'm like, oh, by the way, there's this program. You can work with me. Click this link. Good luck with that. So I am going to weave that into the narrative a bit more this time, just to help out with that. So I want to kind of set the agenda of like what we're going to cover. So, big picture, who this event is for today. This event is for those of you that are in growth mode. So, if you are suffering from residualitis, as some of us have been fortunate enough to suffer from, if you don't know what that is, it means that you're making so much recurring income, you decide not to work very much for a while. If that's you, congratulations on your success. This program that I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit is not for you. This whole effort is not really for you because this is really about looking at 2026 as a growth year, as a transition year for your business, recognizing that things are dramatically changing, right? So the game has changed. Generic merchant services is no longer where the growth is. So I came across this chart that I thought was pretty cool, and interesting, pretty scary actually if you're selling payments. But this is a really interesting chart. So if you take a look at this, the light green would be like ISVs that have their own integrated payments. Then the ISV enabler, this is like your, Phoenix, Rainforest, companies like that are providing payments to ISVs. And then the brown is just selling general merchant services, terminal, credit card terminals, side terminals, gateway, accounts where you have like a virtual terminal, something like that. So when you look at the projection, and again, this is based on historical, these trends, what's happening is there's not going to be growth in that area, right? All the growth is going to be in the ISVs actually doing their own payments, right? Or having a fully integrated payments partner. Now, if you are not selling for an integrated payments partner, that should scare you a little bit. I talked to someone today, a member of this program, the Vertical Sales Mastery, that I'll talk about in a little bit. And he has created a software that basically is a just plugin. It's a payment integration, a payment plugin for dealers, for car dealers, for auto dealerships. And he plugs into one of the best dealer management softwares out there. And I told him, I was like, man, we definitely don't want to go down that path, because what's going to happen is that dealer management software within 36 months, I guarantee you, they are going to be requiring that all those dealers switch to their payment processing if they're going to continue to use that system. Right. And so the game has absolutely changed already. I know I don't need to tell you that. I'm sure you're all experiencing this already, but I really, in this event, one of the main things I want to get across to you is just how crucial it is that in 2026, you go ahead and make this transition to vertical specific strategy. I've talked about it for years, but I really believe this is the year that you're really going to want to go after it. And so, a couple of questions for you to think about as you think about your current portfolio, right? How hard would it be for your merchants to switch? If your merchants were going to leave you, so again, think about the source of your income right now, right? How hard would it be for the merchants to switch? Do you have their inventory, in a system that is exclusively using your payment processing, right? There's just no way for them to switch? Or are you just one of many different people that's in there, and it really wouldn't be that hard for them to switch to another processor, right? What do you have that's actually holding them in and protecting you from cancellations, from attrition? I cannot tell you how many agents I've talked to who thought they had a big lock on a vertical, and then it started to slip away from them. I talked to an agent probably 6-8 months ago who had a bunch of big auto repair shops, larger ones, and that was his big portfolio. And he built that all with side terminals to a company which I won't say the name of, but a large ISV in the auto repair industry. Predictably, that ISV came out with their own payment processing, offered dual pricing to undercut, and they stole a huge. I mean, he lost like 60% of his income in a very short period of time, a matter of months, because they reached out and said, hey, you have to upgrade or switch. So he tried to get out there and get them to all switch software, but nobody wanted to switch software, right? And so what happened is, in his case, it actually wasn't very difficult for his merchants to switch to this other provider. In fact, it was actually easier for them. There was actually less friction, because once they switched to this company, they were already using their software. He was the side terminal. So now it was actually less friction for them. They had, dual pricing. So it was great. There was nothing, he didn't have anything to say. So how hard was it, for his merchants to switch? It was really, really easy, right? What features or benefits would cause your merchants to switch, right? In his case, it was as simple as the current software he was using came out with their own payment processing and required it. It's like, well, right. So think about that. Do you have merchants now where you have a terminal on the side, but they're actually using a different software to run their business? Well, if that software required them to do payments with them, what's going to happen, right? Are they going to switch? Is there a feature or benefit that they want that would cause them to switch? I'll give you a real common one. A lot of times I'll do consulting with ISVs, and they have, a lot of merchants with, let's say, Stripe or with old legacy Card Connect or something, and they do their own payments, and they're like, James, how do we get merchants to switch? And I'm like, well, you could require it, and they're like, no, we don't want to do that. And it's like, okay, cool. You could offer capital, right? And when they reach out to these merchants, they'll say, hey, based on the revenue that you're running, we'd be willing to loan you $50,000 or $100,000 or whatever. And the merchant says, yeah, I want that. And they'll say, okay, well, in order to get that, you have to switch to our payments, because that's how we do the loan. It's backed by recurring payment, recurring payment residuals or payment volume rather, right? So there are a million different features or benefits where there's a friction there between the payments and the software that the software company can solve, and then that causes them to want to switch. Or you are selling somebody on standalone payments, you sold them a credit card terminal or whatever. Think about this. Like think about this for a minute. Imagine, is there going to be anything that AI is going to do for your clients, for your merchants in the next 3 years that they're going to want to take advantage of? right? Any answer other than yes is just insane. Like, obviously, yes, right? So then the question is, are there going to be vertical specific software companies that are going to bring those features and benefits that AI is going to make? They're going to bring those benefits to your merchant. Of course there is, right? Are those companies going to have payments integrated? Obviously they are. And so you're going to lose that account. So when you're thinking about 2026, I never like to operate out of fear, and I don't think we're in that realm right now. I think we can make a pivot right now, and we can actually be very successful and even leapfrog the competition. So I'm very optimistic about it. But there will become that kind of point where you waited too long. So you need to get started on this. If you have a big portfolio and it's like, wow, I could lose my merchants pretty easily. I really don't have any big features or anything holding them in. And other companies could steal them away. That's something you need to look at. Last question: what is stopping the software company from cutting you out? Right? What is stopping the software company from cutting you out? And if you say the contract or dual pricing or differential pricing, I can tell you that that's not the case. I have seen this happen so many times. You get a software company and you're working with them. They're quote unquote processor agnostic, and you're working with them. They're not making any money on the processing. They don't value your partnership really at all. And guess what happens? They get bought by a private equity firm, and the person who you work with over there gets fired, and then they reach out and they say, hey, we're going to require the merchants to all switch to our processing. And you're like, wait a minute, I have a contract. And they're like, okay, well, we're worth $7 billion for our private equity firm, so why don't you go ahead and sue us? And then we'll see you in court. And then if you win after you pay $100,000 in legal fees over the next 2 years, we'll have to start paying your residuals again. What are you going to do? Right? It's happened hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times like that. So it's not the contract and it's not dual pricing, right? If you want to play this new game of payments, it's about vertical specific and it's about software partnership, true partnership. And that's not easy to set up, right? So let me talk a little bit for a minute here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what I've been working on, just to give you some context here. Then I'm going to give you a really specific step-by-step guide of what you need to do to start attacking these verticals. And then I am going to, again, talk about this program. I'm really enjoying it already now. When I did the first event, the first session of this event, I hadn't actually, it was the very first one, so I hadn't been working with anybody. Now I'm working with some people, and it's so fun going after these vertical specific deals, trying to put these strategic partnerships together, go-to-market strategies, sales scripts, marketing materials. It's just, I love it. I love doing the vertical stuff. So I want to show you that real quick. So again, just a couple things for those of you that maybe don't know me or don't know what I do very well. So Stackably, right? Already we launched 8 verticals. We have several that are kind of behind the scenes that our kind of general agent population doesn't know that we have a huge focus on yet because it's too niche. But we have 8 verticals that we've launched so far. We have 40 developers working on this project. And so I'm very familiar with working with software companies. I'm the lead investor in Stackably. And by the way, I want to make it clear too, this event and this program in no way is this a let's promote Stackably, full stack payments, any of that, CC storage, any of that, right? It's not about that at all, but I do want to show you that I have expertise in what I'm talking about, right? So Stackably, we launched full stack payments, built out our own proprietary API for payment processing, tied that into the gateway technology to make an automated, embedded merchant app, automated onboarding flow. We already have integrations that we've launched with 7 strategic ISV partners. We actually launched partnership with probably 30, but we have 7 that we've launched that are really the public ones and the big ones and stuff. So then we have CC Storage, right? CC Storage is a classic vertical specific ISV, the fastest growing self-storage software in the country right now. And I started that one actually from scratch. So Stackably I acquired. CC Storage, I started that from scratch. We built every line of code ourselves with our own W-2 employees, 1,500 plus locations. We're adding 75 locations a month. ISOAMP, another vertical specific software company, right? It's vertical specific for you, for ISOs and agents. We have 400 plus clients, 7-figure ramp up with 60% plus gross margins. And so again, the point of this is I understand how to own and operate software companies, right? And so, for those of you that are looking to go down that road, I'm working with actually the very first person that signed up for the program, a guy named Paul, great guy. He had actually already built his software company that he's going after a particular vertical. And he had worked with some developers and built something out. And we're now already getting ready to go to market. And we were able to help him with like putting some final pieces together. We had to, within the vertical, he needed like ACH processing. So we were able to figure that out, get the gateway figured out, talk him through some different things he's doing. And now we're working on the go-to-market strategy. A lot of fun walking him through. I showed him 2 different lead sources that he wasn't very familiar with. And my marketing team is going to help him get set up with those lead sources to add about maybe 20 leads a month to what else he's doing. And so, so again, a lot of fun. I love doing this. So owning these companies has given me a lot of experience I can leverage for your benefit. FieldPulse, again, these are external partnerships. So FieldPulse, we scheduled about 70 demos in 45 days. Micros generated 20 million a monthly volume potential in 90 days. We just started with them, but now we're closing these deals. I'm also, Full Stack Payments is also the official sponsor of the Alabama League of Municipalities. So we're, setting up all these municipalities on software and payments. So again, just trying to show here that, again, not promoting any of this, but just saying, I love doing vertical deals, and this is where it's at. Like for those of you that maybe don't know, or maybe you're still kind of trapped a little bit in that older kind of legacy payments world of, hey, let's get out there and just sell everybody we can. That's not where the growth is at. It's not where the money's at. All the money, all the growth right now is in these vertical deals and putting them together. They're very complicated deals to put together. You have to have some experience. You have to have developers. You really need to understand how all the pieces fit together because every deal is a little bit different. But where the money is at is saying, okay, I want to go after this vertical. Let me find the right software solution. Let me get an integration done. Let me make the right partnership, put the right structure in place to share residuals, right? And look at the SaaS revenue and the hardware, all the pieces together. Then let's go to market and we got to figure out how we're going to get leads. We're going to close these leads. There's so many variables to it. And so we're going to talk about this 4-step process to vertical sales mastery. I'm going to cover a few slides here just to set the groundwork for it, and then we'll jump into that. And then as I'm going through this, by the way, if you have any questions at all, feel free to put those over in the chat or the Q&A box, either one, and I will be glad to answer those here at the end. So 4 steps to vertical sales mastery: your identity and commitment. In other words, kind of changing the way you view yourself and your role in the industry, the role of your business, kind of your branding, your brand promise, personal brand or business brand, either way. Choosing the vertical or verticals that you're going to go after, and then choosing your solutions and your go-to-market strategy, and then hitting the ground running very quickly. These are the 4 steps, and we're going to break these down here in a minute. I want to cover a couple of other things, though. I really would love for all of you to start thinking about in 2026 building an asset, not just a residual, right? So a lot of times we think in terms of residual. I know many of you are like, man, I would never like sell my residuals, right? But think of it as you're building an asset, you're building a business. Whether you sell it or whether you're able to pass it down to your kids someday, whatever it is, you're building an asset. And so it's important because not all residual is created equal, right? When you're like, well, I have a $10,000 a month residual stream. And I'm like, okay, well, what type of merchants is it? What type of solution? And you're like, well, they're mostly standalone terminals. I don't even know the number at which I would be willing to buy a portfolio of 10,000 a month in residual if it's all standalone terminals, right? Because we know that those accounts are going to be gone, the majority of them, in 3 years, if not much sooner, I think average lifetime on standalone terminal accounts, last time I looked, was like 22 months or something. You look at CC Storage and you're like, well, we have an agent actually just hit 12,000 in monthly residual from CC Storage, right? These self-storage accounts. Do you know how many of his accounts have canceled in the first year? 0. You know how many are probably going to cancel in the second year? 0. You know how many are going to probably cancel in the third year? 0. Like, there's no way, right? They're running their entire business. Their whole self-storage property is managed inside of CC Storage. They have all of their payment methods saved on file. They have all their sitemap built. They have their reporting. They have their auto pay portal where their clients log in and update their payment method and look at their invoices. Everything is in CC Storage. When somebody buys a self-storage property that's one of our clients, one of the first calls they make is to us, to CC Storage, to say, hey, I just bought this property. What do I need to do to get set up? They're not going to switch software. Are you kidding? Like that's so not all residual is created equal, right? If you said to me, James, there's 10,000, 10,000 a month in residual, right? What is that worth? Well, if it's standalone terminals, I don't even know, right? Maybe you could get, maybe it's like, hey, here's 80,000 up front, right? You get an 8X, and then get more money as it, as a true up or something if they actually stay around. You say, well, what's 10,000 worth CC Storage? Probably $500,000, right? Like it's a huge difference. So you got to think in terms of building an asset, whether you're looking to sell or not, it's an asset. Super important. I really believe, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this program and why I want to work with you and partner with you to figure out these deals and set up these vertical deals together, is that I really believe 2026 will be the tipping point for vertical SaaS domination. Now, there's always a long tail. People are still going to be buying standalone terminals in 5 years, no doubt, right? The question though is, we saw like the growth of standalone payments, then we saw it kind of flatten out. Now we've seen it kind of start to decline. I think 2026 is when it really hits that downward trend. And you're going to start to feel the pressure of that, right? If you have a portfolio of standalone payments, side terminals, whatever it is, you're going to start to feel that pressure as merchants say, hold on a minute, here's AI coming, right? Here's all these vertical softwares with these amazing features. Here's embedded finance, capital, banking, everything else. And they're like, man, how long can I afford to miss out on all of the real features that I want and need? They're just not going to want to do it. And so they're going to be looking for going after vertical software, and vertical software, as we all know, comes with payments. When you have a vertical sales strategy, it forces you to focus, right? It forces you to focus, and focus is becoming so much more important in payments. I would say it's probably the biggest challenge or missed opportunity right now, because a lot of agents and ISOs are still not focused. They want to focus, but they don't want to focus, right? They're still wanting to sell everybody, rather than really trying to focus their efforts in on one or two or three verticals that they're going to go after. It's going to help you focus your learning, your solutions, your payments, and your value. So let's talk about those quickly. So focusing your learning, right? You can, when it's just payments, all you have to do is know payments. When you're going to going after like a vertical, you're going to go after self-storage, let's say, you're going to go after hair salons, or you're going to go after pizzerias, or whatever it is. Well, you have to understand the industry, not just the payments aspect, right? Well, if you focus in on, I'm going to go after this one vertical, well, you're going to be able to get the industry language in really quickly. You're going to have, one set of problems to solve. You're going to know what the issues are that these people are facing. You're going to solve those problems. So it allows you to focus your learning. It allows you to focus your solution, right? You want to get a feature set that actually matches the way that they work, that particular type of business is operating, right? When you're focused on one vertical, you can go out, you can find that software company that you can partner with, a vertical specific software company. I talked to an agent today, and I had our first call today on the vertical sales mastery program. And, he was telling me about this one company that was an ISV, and he wasn't really thinking about reaching out to them to get their business. We were talking about this certain vertical. And I was like, hey, why don't you reach out to them, right? And we looked them up, and here they were in the middle of doing an integration with Stripe. I was able to do a little AI digging and work my magic and figure out a bunch of things about like what they're doing and stuff. And I'm like, hey, you're doing this coaching program. Get me on the call. Let's you and I go after this ISV and let's get them. Why are they using Stripe? That's ridiculous. They're never going to make any money. Let's go after this one. Let's figure out how to get it integrated. We can do your current processor with their gateway. You could do full stack with that one. Our developers can help, whatever it is. Let's get this deal done. And so we're able to partner together on that. And so it allows you to find these vertical specific software companies and really have a great solution to go after, a particular market, right? Focus your payments, right? Lastly is focus your payments. One integrated stack for your vertical. So you're able to say, okay, what kind of payment processing do I need for this particular vertical? You're able to work out all the details. Even underwriting gets so much easier, because if you're going after one vertical, you can find the right partner for that vertical on the payment side that's willing to do underwriting for that vertical, right? You can optimize your costs, optimize your revenue, all of that when you're going after a particular vertical, right? So what's the payoff, right? What's the payoff? Well, the vertical portfolio payoff, again, we talked about it. It's an asset, right? So very conservatively, if this year, if you said, well, I'm going to keep selling, my kind of standard, general merchant accounts, but I'm going to focus as much of my time as I can. I'm going to focus on this one vertical and I'm going to sell 50 vertical specific accounts this year. Very, very doable. Like this is very conservative, $5,000 a month you could build up. That's $100 average residual per account. Depending on the vertical you go after, could be higher, could be a little lower, but this is very realistic. You build up $5,000 a month. What is that worth as an asset, right? You just increased your net worth by $200,000 minimum. That's at a 40x. A lot of times you get a vertical portfolio where you actually have a partnership with the ISV. You can be talking about a 50, 60, 70x on that, right? As you continue to build it up. And so, these are massively, massively valuable. This is a huge asset that you can build throughout the year by building that vertical specific portfolio, right? So let's go through these steps. I got 4 steps for vertical sales mastery, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about this program, the vertical sales mastery program, where I personally work with you and partner with you to help you put these vertical specific deals together. So step 1 is become a vertical specialist. I don't mean that in terms of like learn the industry. I mean your identity. Stop thinking I'm a merchant sales rep, I'm a payments professional. You start thinking I am a hair salon specialist, I am a auto repair specialist broadly for that business type, right? And so we're going to talk about that when we jump on and do these coaching calls is, how do you want your personal brand to be perceived? How do you want your ISO brand to be perceived? You have to be known for a couple of verticals that you work in if you really want to be able to grab a ton of market share. If you're going to go after a vertical, you want to be thinking about, man, I want to grab like at least 10, 20% of that market and have a huge plan in place for even your local area, if it's something local, or nationwide, if it's like a more of a spread out niche vertical. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. You want to be thinking in terms of becoming a vertical specialist. Okay. Start with one vertical. Now it's funny. I had this slide on there. Actually, after working with a bunch of people on this program already, I'm starting to think more of like maybe 2 verticals. So a lot of times we'll identify a longer term opportunity where we need to go find an ISV and get them to integrate. And it's going to take us 6 months. So we start working on that. But we also work on something that we can hit the ground running today that's ready to go, or we already have a solution and we can start going after verticals. So sometimes it'll be a couple of verticals that we'll work on together. But the idea here is you can't master a bunch of different industries at once. Go narrow. The more narrow that you go, the faster you can win, the faster you can get those 50 accounts, right? When you go really narrow. An example of this would be, a lot of agents, it's like, well, I want to go after restaurants. Like, no, what if you went after food trucks, right? That's really, really, really narrow, but you could probably sell 50 food trucks in a hurry. And guess what? You could also go find an ISV that's servicing food trucks that's currently doing payment processing with Stripe or somebody else and not making any money on it. And you could actually go to them and say, hey, I can help you understand payments and do an integration for you. And again, I can coach you through that whole process of helping, talking to the ISV, getting a deal done, crafting the right agreement for the ISV and negotiating that and then getting everything done. We could do that together, but you find that ISV. Now, if you say, well, I'm going to find a restaurant point of sale system to partner with, honestly, you're really probably not going to find a great partnership there, right? You may find a solution you can work with, but I'm saying an actual partnership, meaning they're willing to work with you on the payments because they need that and they need the distribution. But if you go to food trucks, yeah, you could probably find a solution where they raised some money, they built a good solution for food trucks, but they don't know really how to sell and they're trying to run, lead campaigns. They're not getting very many leads. You come in there and say, hey, I'm going to blanket I'm going to call every food truck in America and I'm going to sell them on your solution. But I want to know I'm getting the payment. So I want you to exclusively use me for the payments. That's a very compelling pitch to that food truck ISV, right? So you start with that food truck part. Then you go, what about maybe I'm going to start working with quick serve, right? So we go a little bit more broad. Let's go to quick serve restaurants. Now, a food truck is a quick serve restaurant, right? I mean, kind of. It's a little more niche, but it's a quick serve restaurant. So now you could go broader and say, well, if I have a good solution for food trucks, maybe I can work with my partner to expand, or maybe I can even find another partner, have 2 different partners, and we can start going after just generally quick serve restaurants using the same methodology I used to sell my first 50 food trucks. right? And as that works, you're like, man, I think I'm gonna hire some people. Let's go after restaurants. And so, right, you can just continue to scale up with these adjacent verticals, right? And again, figuring out which vertical is a good fit is very hard. I actually made 4 videos that I'll give you after you do the call with my team, which I'll talk about in a minute. And these 4 videos walk you through specifically the right questions to ask to even figure out what vertical, because it's more than I could cover on this event. Like, it's hard because you got to think about a lot of different things, right? So step number 2 is choose your vertical, right? And so as you dive into that, you want to match the vertical to your strengths. And again, this is complex, right? You've got to think about distribution. Are you selling face to face? Are you selling over the phone? Are you generating leads? Are you doing networking? Are you doing, all these different things? How are you going to do the distribution? That's very important because depending on whether you're face to face or over the phone, trying to figure out which vertical to go after is crucial. If you pick the wrong vertical, you won't have enough of them to go to in your area, right? Or it will be a vertical that's maybe not receptive to the way you're planning to do distribution models, right? Or maybe it's going to be too competitive and you don't have a competitive solution. So thinking about distribution, that's a big one, right? Thinking about marketing. How are you going to market your business? How are you going to brand this, right? If you're going to go vertical specific, you need to take full advantage of that and make sure that you have vertical specific marketing, Trifle brochures, swag, website, business card, all of it, right? It should be, hey, I'm an expert in hair salons. So I'm going to be having my own custom, Trifle brochures, business cards, all of that talk about how I'm a hair salon solution expert. So we got to nail down the marketing. And again, that's something we do through that program, through my marketing team, is we work with you to say, hey, let's make sure we get you some marketing materials, help you understand the graphic side a little bit better, and put some really good stuff together for your go-to-market strategy from a marketing perspective. Number 3 is you're looking at experience. What do you have experience in, right? Does your experience overlap with a really, really good vertical, right? What about connections? Do you have connections in a particular vertical where you could really go out there and you could get 10 accounts right off the bat because of connections that you have? So again, I've got a 4-video series that'll walk you through all of this in great detail. But this is very, very important. You have to make sure that you choose the right vertical for you. And that's something that, again, you're going to want to work with somebody on to really nail that down. If you go after the wrong vertical, it can be a little frustrating. Either you don't make sales or you make sales, then you lose them as you realize it's not a good matchup for the solution that you have. Step number 3 is choose your solution and go-to-market strategy. Now, this is important because we generally want to go down market first, then we go up market when you're ready. So in other words, as we're going to go vertical specific and we say, hey, I really want to target this vertical, unless you have some special connection on the enterprise side of that vertical, it's if you go down market first, meaning solutions that are more simplistic, then you're going to have a better partnership with them because they're newer and they're ready to go. If you go right up to the enterprise level, then they're not going to care about you very much. They already are at enterprise level. They already are doing big deals. So you're very like a small fish in a large pond, right? And so a lot of times we go down market first as we're learning the vertical, and then we start to go up market with that solution, right? So and so again, the idea there is to start simple, right? Sell smaller merchants, simple needs, faster wins. You can close accounts. We want to get some accounts under our belt so we can learn what kind of features we need. We can partner with our solution provider to get the right features built in and really, again, have that partnership. Partnership is what really protects you right now in the payments industry. You need software partnership where you either own equity or you're providing a ton of value through distribution, you're sharing revenue. You need real partnership. That is what truly protects you in this industry. So you got to pick a partner with a roadmap as well. They can serve your starting niche, but they're also committed to upmarket roadmap. They're committed also to going upmarket just like you are, right? I was talking to Ben Shirey about this yesterday. We had a meeting and leadership meeting, and we were talking about CC Storage and how when we first started CC Storage on our website, it actually said the best self-storage software for properties with under 100 units, right? We won't even do a demo for an account with less than 100 units today, right? We're selling, we sold one a couple of days ago for 3,800 units. We'll make about $6,000 a month on that one account, right? But at the beginning, that's not where we started. We started by saying, if you have under 100 units, we're the best fit. Why? Because we didn't have very many features. It was very simple, right? But we owned it. We had it. We knew what we were doing with it, right? And then we were able to scale it up by getting those early clients and figured out what we needed to build. So you're looking for that. You want to have a partner that's open to your field feedback, right? That's crucially important. Okay, step 4 is hit the ground running. Talk to decision makers immediately. I'm a huge proponent of this. Okay, we want to do like a survey pitch. So we're going to ask, what are you using now? What do you like about it? What's broken, right? Do a survey. If you say, man, you know what? I really think there's a vertical I could get into. You want to do a survey. Now, I will work with you in this program to put together a script and help you figure out exactly what you need to do. And we're going to iterate through that and have conversations about, hey, what are you hearing? And I can help you decipher these surveys that you're taking in this data to say, okay, which partnership should we go find? We can leverage that survey to go get partnerships. Like we can go out to ISVs and say, hey, we've talked to 30 companies, and here's what they all said. What features do you have? And we can show them that we know what we're talking about. And so we can leverage this survey in a lot of ways. Obviously, also, we're going to hopefully find some people who are going to be interested in whatever solution we're going to be offering, right? But we can hit the ground running very, very quickly. The goal is to have 30 conversations to get real insights. We're not selling them. We're just listening. Okay, we're just listening. So let's kind of summarize this 4-step process. And again, I know I'm going quickly because I want to leave a little time to talk about this program. So from ideas to pipeline, start with the identity shift. When people say, what do you do right now? If you're at a party and somebody says, tell me about you, what do you do for work? What do you say? Be honest, right? What do you say? Think about that, right? What do you want to do? You want to transition that. You should be, by the end of 2026, hopefully even sooner, when they ask that, you should be able to say, oh, well, I actually specialize in solutions for whatever, auto repair shops, pizza shops, barber shops, B2B clients, whatever it is, right? I'm a specialist. Why? Because now people know how to refer you. They know what you do, and now you can specialize in that, right? So it's an identity shift. You have to choose a vertical, right? And again, this is not easy. You have to really, really make sure you get the right vertical, the right fit for your distribution plan, for your marketing, for all of that. Then get a solution mapped out, right? I have a solution. I have it mapped out. I know this is the right solution for this particular segment of the market. I talked to one of the people in our vertical sales mastery, I think it was yesterday, and we were talking about how he's going after this vertical. Again, I won't say which one, but I was showing him how that he could go to this one website where we can generate leads. And on that website, I showed him how to go in there and actually put in and say, I only want people that have less than 5 employees. Now, why'd we do that? Because the solution that he was selling was not very good yet. It was very basic, right? It was fine, works fine, but it's very basic, very simple. So I showed you, hey, let's get 15, 20 leads a month from this solution here where we can actually say, I don't want people that have 30 employees because we're not ready for that. We need people that have 5 or less employees so we can sell the simple ones, right? So you got to get the right solution for the right audience. And again, maybe you're like, no, I already have enterprise. Okay, well then we're gonna have to find a solution that's enterprise level for what you're doing, right? And then get those real conversations started as quickly as possible. Call those 30 decision makers from that vertical and start asking them questions and figuring it out, right? So this is the core concept of it. Now I want to talk to you for a minute, kind of shift gears. Give me like 10 minutes here. And then again, I want to answer questions. So feel free to put any questions you have in there. Glad to answer those. But I want to talk about why I built Vertical Sales Mastery for just like 10 minutes here, and then give you a website you can go to learn more and to jump on a quick call with my team. So I built Vertical Sales Mastery. That's funny. I'll read you what I have on the slide, and then I'll tell you the real answer. How about that? So agents need a proven roadmap and a real partner. That sounds great. That's true. Let me tell you the real reason I started it. The real reason I started it is, look, I own these different businesses, right? I only have, so much time in the day and only so much money to invest. And so I can only go after a certain number of verticals, right? So I have the verticals that I'm going after right now with Stackably and CC Storage. And we've got a bunch of other ones planned for Stackably. And I've got these external partnerships with Micros and TCG and Fuel Pulse and others. But I've gotten to this point now where like, man, I have my teams in place. They all do a great job. They're all running these different businesses. And man, I want to do some more deals. That's just the truth, right? Just being honest with you. That's the truth. Like I like doing these deals. They're really fun. And I was like, man, you know what? I bet I could leverage this entire agent network and all these people that have these that follow my content. And I bet we could leverage that to work together to get more deals done. It's just a lot of fun. Like let's build more deals. I enjoy it, right? So this program is a way for me to have a lot of fun, to work with agents and ISOs and just put vertical deals together, which is something I really, really enjoy doing. And at the same time, a way for me to generate more income to invest back into these vertical deals I'm doing myself, right? So it's a win-win for everybody involved. So what is the goal of this program? So this is a coaching, a one-on-one coaching program. Here's the goal. 2026 for 12 months, right? Now, some of you jumping in now, we might get your first call in for another week or two here. We're starting to fill up a little bit, but the idea would be 50 vertical deals in 12 months. This is kind of this is the promise of this program, but this is the guarantee. Like if you work with me one-on-one, I will work with you to get 50 vertical deals in 12 months. That's it. Like we're going to do that. And we're also going to make sure that those 50 deals are generating 5,000 a month in residuals. So 5,000 in new residual above and beyond what you're making now. Over the next 12 months, we're going to build that. And that's going to create a $200,000 asset. Now, again, 5,000 a month. I mean, this is very conservative. Like I said, I have multiple agents I've worked with that built it to 10, 20,000 in a year. I mean, so there's a lot of upside there, but I'm guaranteeing this. This is what I'm guaranteeing. So I'm going to guarantee that we can work together to create a $200,000 asset, right? That's what you're going to get from this program. And I will work with you personally to do that. And that could mean I'm working with you to find an ISV partnership. It could mean I'm working with you, go to market on a particular vertical, helping you figure out the marketing aspect of it, training you to understand the sales aspect a little bit better for that particular vertical, making connections, working with my developers to help you figure out a particular deal that's a bit more technical, working with my marketing team to create trifold, whatever it is. We're going to work together and we're going to figure it out and we're going to get this done. This is the objective. We're going to work together and we're going to make sure that this happens, right? So vertical sales mastery, 2026, 12 months to a 50 deal vertical portfolio. So this is the core promise and guarantee. You're going to have 50 vertical specific deals in 12 months, 5,000 a month in new residuals. If you show up and do the work, I'll keep working with you until we get there. So if we get to the end of the 12 months and you're like, James, man, I'm only at 3,500 in new residual, which I think is highly unlikely, but let's say that happens. As long as you were showing up to the meetings and doing the work and you're at 3,500, I'll work with you for free in 2027 until you hit it, right? We're going to hit this number. This is the guarantee. And again, keep in mind that 5,000 a month, that is a guaranteed $200,000 asset. Right? So that's a huge deal, right? So that's a guaranteed $200,000 asset. So what you get, right? What you get. So this is not a video program, although I do have videos that go along with it. This is a one-on-one coaching program. So we're going to start with the 45-minute onboarding calls. I tend to run this program on Monday, so I'm taking my entire day Monday for this program. And so it's a 45-minute onboarding call, the first call. Then after that, every month, we're doing a 30-minute one-on-one call, each month. In addition to that, every single week, I guess I'll get to that next. I have another slide about that, but I'll talk about the weekly session as well. But working with me 30 minutes every month, again, initially 45 minutes. On that 45-minute call, we're going to get so much done. I'm telling you, I've already had a bunch of these calls, and it's every single one of them at the end is like, man, this is crazy. Like, we're going to identify that vertical. We're going to identify the right solution, or we're going to identify several targets of ISVs that we should go after together. So I can help you get those deals and get them locked in on your payments. And so we're going to find ISVs. We're going to put vertical deals together. We're going to find solutions, whatever we need to do. Like, you tell me your objective, which vertical you want to go after and how you want to go after it. And then I will help you figure out how to make that happen. That's what we're doing on that 45-minute call. It's going to be go to market, very practical. We're going to get you a personal roadmap and deal strategy, partnership with you on ISV integrations. Again, whether that's full stack payments, somebody else, I don't care, whatever. This program is processor agnostic, solution agnostic. Like, you're paying me as your coach, your consultant to help you get vertical deals done. I don't care. I know everybody in the industry. Whatever you need to get it done, we are going to find a way to get it done. Internal team access as needed. So this is my team. So again, there's a lot of deals on the vertical specific side where you need marketing, you need tech, you need, ops, whatever it is. I've got a huge team of employees, right? I have like 50 employees just in this building and the one across the street here, just in this one location. And a lot of those people really know a lot about how to sell payments and vertical specific integrated software. They know how to sell ISVs. And so it's really cool. I've got Brian Fitzgerald on my team. I just introduced him today to one of the vertical sales mastery clients, and he's going to be working with them to get an ISV deal done. So we're going to work with you to do whatever you need. I'm going to be your coach and consultant. I'm going to connect the dots to make sure we can get things done. We also have a weekly group session. This actually starts next week on Monday. I believe it's at 4:00 Eastern. So what's going to happen is every Monday, I'm going to do these like one-on-one sessions with everybody. Then I'm going to take an hour and prep a very practical insight to come in and say, okay, here's what I'm hearing from everybody. Here are the main things. I'm only going to spend like 15 minutes. I'm just going to share quickly some key insights and strategies that, again, I can't stress this enough, but like it is so difficult to launch vertical specific. Like there's a reason why very few people are doing it successfully and why a lot of agents and ISOs are still stuck in this like general payments land. And the reason is because it's hard, I've been really blessed to do this like multiple times. And so I can share a lot of things that are going to cut down the learning curve, cut that opportunity cost, keep you from making those mistakes that are expensive, and just get you right to where you need to be. So we're going to share all that. And then it's going to be very much Q&A, hot seat type situation of like everybody kind of giving us a quick update on what they're doing, just sharing best practices, collaborating. So if you like that kind of thing, great. If you don't jump on the meeting because they're going to be very collaborative. It's like the way I look at it is this is going to be a small group. I'm not working with a bunch of people here. I don't have time to work with too many people. So most of these meetings are going to have 10, 20 people on them, if I had to guess. Initially, probably not even that many. It's just gonna be a very, very small group that's every week, like, yeah, I think I'll jump on this week, and that's awesome because then we can each share like what we're working on. I'll give you my insights so we can connect every single week as you're working on your battle plan, and I'll get to know you better and I'll get to know your objectives better and be able to add as much value as possible. So I'm really excited about these weekly group sessions. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Assets and templates, right? We're going to help you get vertical specific scripts, email templates, funnels, one page, demo frameworks, whatever we need to do. We'll work with my team and we'll get it done. So who is this for? It is for successful agents, ISO owners, vertical focused and committed. Now, remember, I'm not saying successful merchant services agents, although of course that's a good fit. But if you're like, I'm just saying successful sales agent, maybe you haven't been successful in payments yet. That's okay. That actually might even help you. It's not a big deal, right? We're going to be shifting gears. We're selling software that has integrated payments. Now, I will, as your coach and consultant, I will help you understand how to dominate the payment side of this deal because that's where most of the money is going to be at. But you're selling software. So as long as you're a successful sales agent, this program is not for me to teach a beginner agent or somebody who's just afraid of technology or somebody who's unwilling to change, right? This is like, no, 2026 is my year. Let's go. Let's work together. Let's dominate a vertical or two this year and see what we can accomplish together, right? Okay, what's the investment? Right? For the agent program in the month of January, I'm going to give you a discount. Now, I'm extending this because a lot of people didn't get to do the first session. On the first session, I said the first 10 get it for $1,995 per month. But I'm actually going to extend that for just the month of January because, again, we're doing this event right now. So we're going to give you a $20,000 prepay discount. So you can prepay for the whole year for $20,000 or pay $1,995 per month. So again, remember, ultimately, this is you paying between $20,000 to $24,000, depending if you prepay or not. In exchange for that investment, you are getting $60,000. Well, it's actually $5,000 in monthly residuals, but $60,000 in annual residuals and $200,000 asset is what that's creating, right? So it's like insert 20,000 and pull out 200,000. That's what this is. It's a fantastic investment, right? The question is, do you have the cash flow to justify it? Can you afford to make the investment? If not, I totally get it. I'll do my best to keep putting good free content out there on the podcast and the YouTube channel. But if you really want to work with me and get in the fast lane and you've got the money to invest, I promise you we're going to have a good ROI on that investment, no doubt about it. Now, in addition to that, I am also working with ISOs. I already have a couple of ISOs that I'm working with on this. This program is going to be customized to suit your needs a bit more. So this is going to be including things like team strategy meetings. If you want to build, buy, or invest in an ISV, I can walk you through that. I have all the connections to do it. I've done it myself several times, no problem. I can help you line up, the capital that you need if the ISV is a good ISV with recurring revenue. And so we can get advice from my developer team, deal structure and finance, team sales training. So train your team on how to sell this new software that you just purchased or whatever. Or again, maybe you don't want to go that complex. You just want to sell, right, a vertical deal. And we can do that, right? So the ISO program is a value-based investment. So on the first event, I put a price out there of $10,000 a month. And that probably is where it will average out to, but I've talked to some ISOs where it's going to be closer to 5,000. I've talked to others that it might be 15. It just depends on what you need from me and from my team. And so I can work with you on a case by case. But again, this is where we're going to be looking at, hey, what are we trying to create together? What is that going to require from me and my team? And then we'll do a consulting agreement accordingly. Help you avoid costly mistakes, cut opportunity cost, implement quickly, train and activate the agents. And I get so many ISOs that are like, James, how do we get access to Stackably, FieldPulse, Micros? Well, the only way you get access to it right now is this program, right? You can work with me, and if there's a fit there, we'll do it. I had a ISO today that I was talking to and ended up introducing to Ben Shirey that's running Stackably, and we decided to go and let them, do a deal. And so again, this is a way for me to say, hey, I know I can work with you. We are looking for some ISOs to work with as we continue to flesh out our official, full stack payments ISO program. We don't have that yet. We have all the tech to support it, but just haven't found the right business model that we really like there yet. But if you want to get on the ground floor and you want to work with me, reach out, and I'll be happy to talk to you about what that could look like. Okay. Again, if you're an ISO, we're talking about building a vertical SaaS asset, right? 25 plus deals per month by the end of the year, ownership in the tech stack, complete control of payments, and a valuation of 2 to 5 million in 18 to 24 months. That's what as an ISO, this is what you're getting as your return for investment is. We're literally creating a business asset because I'm going to advise that you either have a very deep partnership with somebody or something. We want to create some real value here if you're an ISO, right? So how does it work? All you got to do is go to ccsalespro.com/2026. That's it. Okay. Go to ccsalespro.com/2026, fill out the form. Khalil from my team is going to follow up. He'll do a quick 15-minute call. His goal is just to get some notes, make sure and understand what you're looking for, and kind of look at it as an application because we do want to make sure that it's people who are serious about the program. And then he'll finalize the details and schedule your first session. So he'll talk with you. He'll schedule the call with me. I'll have a conversation with you for 15 minutes personally before you sign up for the program because I want to know who I'm working with. I want to make sure that I want to work with you. I think all of us, have gotten to that point in our career, hopefully, where we get to decide who we want to work with. And I definitely am very picky about that. So I want to work with people that I enjoy working with and have some fun and do some deals together. So then I'll send it back over to Khalil. He'll finalize the details and get you set up for your first session. And then he'll also send you those 4 videos that I shot that are prep for that first 45-minute session. So again, if you're interested in this at all and you just want to talk to my team, again, go to that URL there, ccsalespro.com/2026. So you can pause this here, open up another tab, ccsalespro.com/2026. Go ahead and click there to apply for the program, and then Khalil will follow up with you. So, and again, we have that application process with Khalil because that just protects the group quality, ensures we can truly help you, and it just aligns expectations. I want to make sure that what you're expecting is what I'm going to be able to deliver, right? So, again, if you're ready to build your vertical portfolio in 2026, I would love to work with you. It is a little bit of a crazy world out there right now in payments. It's a little complicated, but I love it. Absolutely love it. I love doing these vertical deals and just piecing them together. They're so complicated and they're so fun. You got to find the right solution provider, the right distribution channel, the right marketing, right branding, the right sales approach. Oftentimes you got to get developers involved and integrations done. And it's just, it's a big complicated world, but it's so, so, so fun. And it's also incredibly profitable and valuable. I've got my hands full I think I own as many vertical specific deals as I want to own currently. But I would love to help some of you get some deals going. Again, this is a very limited program. It's a limited time program. My goal is to just get some people in here early this year, fill it up, run it for a year. I don't know if I'll do it again ever. I don't know. But I want to do it in 2026 and just see if I like it and see if you like it. So I'm excited about it. I know we're going to add a ton of value. So again, go to ccsalespro.com/2026 to sign up. Still got about 5 minutes. So let me look and see what I got in the chat. If you got a question, you just go right ahead and type that out in the chat there. All right. Hey there, Jose. Great to see you, sir. Yeah, that's interesting. Jose says, he had that issue happen where the point of sale system he was using got bought out, and then his merchants were basically forced into switching. So absolutely. Let's see here. We've got Jan. I want to get a Micros account. Yeah, so absolutely. If you want to do a Micros deal, Jan, just reach out to me. Again, I can work with you on going after that particular vertical. If you're just interested in placing the deal, you could download the Full Stack Payments app, and we have Micros in there. I have one of my favorite vertical deals I've done in the last year actually was this guy who, if you go back and look up on my YouTube channel, just search for Micros. This guy Greg Olesnicki. His dad had the largest Micros dealer in the country for like a long time, and we have this relationship, an exclusive relationship with him, and it's just an incredible relationship. And so yeah, be happy to work with you on a Micros deal anytime. Let's see here. Herb says, just starting out again after getting over that there before for 3 years. Yeah. And again, I mean, anytime, Herb, that you are looking to move forward with that, feel free to email me, james@ccsalespro.com. I can't promise I'll reply to every email. But again, you can definitely shoot me an email there. This is recorded, and so it will be posted on YouTube channel here shortly. Yeah, this is interesting. So Ron, if you're looking for acquisition targets, whether that's an ISO or an ISV, I don't have any in mind at this exact moment, but I have no problem finding that for you through my network, connecting you with the right people. This program is a great way to do that. It's a great way for me to work with you. And again, it's one of the things that's so interesting, Ron, about consulting that I found is I try to not put myself in too much of a box when it comes to consulting. I'll give you an example of this. I remember there was a point of sale company I worked with, and I came to them and they said, we want to hire you as a consultant specifically to bring us an agent distribution channel, right? To work on building out our agent distribution channel. And we had an introductory call, learned about their business a little bit. And I said, well, I'll do that for you. I was like, but you're going to get way, way, way more value out of this if you allow me to work with you on dual pricing for your inbound leads and your existing merchant accounts. And they're like, I don't know. And I said, no, you don't understand. I was like, in a few years, you're going to be thanking me. Well, the CEO reaches out to me about once every 6 months now and says, oh my word, I can't believe that I didn't hire you as a consultant sooner. They have like tripled their EBITDA, because of implementing dual pricing. So there's always different things we can work on. So again, acquisition being a great one, talking through that and figuring out what we could do together is great. So, let's see here. This program is currently US only. I hate to say that. The only reason I have it as US only is because, frankly, I'm not an expert on payments in the EU. And so, it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess what I'd say is I haven't anybody asked me that yet. If you really want to work with me as a consultant, just again, with the understanding that I have a lot of connections in the EU, I understand payments at a high level. I do not consider myself a payments expert in the EU. I'm certainly still a vertical software specialist, so I could still work with you on that. So again, I'm happy to talk with you and see if it's a good fit. But yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, I don't have a full video course for this one. It's so heavily weighted on the one-on-one coaching and consulting. I haven't put a video program together. Again, I have some videos that go along with it, but they wouldn't really be a standalone, like massive value in my opinion there. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Rodney, great job, man. Your first gun shop. Great vertical, super valuable, profitable vertical. So good stuff. Let's see. Let me answer one more here, and then I think we better end it. So, I've let's see. Oh my, Ron. Good night, man. Yeah, reach out to me. I'll find you the funding. It'll take me like a week. It depends, as long as they have a good deal. But yeah, seriously, Ron, fill out the form, or email me, james@ccsalespro.com. More than happy to work with you on that deal and help you find funding. It's no problem. Um, let's see here. So Frank, to be clear, with Stackably or whatever, any of my companies, there's no forced buyout. So, we're happy to buy the portfolio if you want to sell it. But yeah, there's no forced buyouts there. But yeah, you'd want to season it a little bit. Your portfolio is always more valuable after 6 to 12 months of processing. But yeah, um, Rodney, I absolutely do. If you actually look up Gun Shop CC Sales Pro on YouTube, I did a couple of events with them. And so, yeah, you take a look at that. Absolutely. And again, glad to Rodney, if you want to, I'd happy to work with you on going after gun shops. I could get you more of that direct connection in with Defender and Yuri over there, their CEO, and really work with you to help you figure out how to partner with them in that way. So. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Again, if you didn't do so already, head over to ccsalespro.com/2026. Fill out that form there. Let my team talk with you. And then I would love to jump on with you. Again, even if you're like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm still kind of on the fence. Let's just jump on a call. Again, talk to Khalil about it. Set up a meeting with me. Let's talk for 15 minutes, see if it's a good fit. If you've got the cash to invest in that and you're looking at it and you're thinking about it, then I'm more than happy to talk with you. Again, I'll be the first to tell you if it's not a good fit. I had somebody was the last week that I talked to, and I was like, no, it's not a good idea for you right now. You're not in the right place to do this. And so I'll be the first to tell you that if I think it's going to work. If I don't, I'll tell you that as well. So again, thank you all so much for your time. And yeah, this recording will be going out. We'll send an email out with the recording, and it'll be on YouTube as well. So thanks everybody. Appreciate your time and have a fantastic rest of your day today.